99.3 Nigeria Info, a very lovely morning to you. Welcome to the Morning Crossfire on your number one news, talk and sports radio station. Today, we launch our very first major conversation in 2020. And that conversation starts with this moment as we discuss Trump and Iran tension on the show today. Now, this will last for 1 good hour. I am Sheriff Quadry. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to join the conversation from anywhere in Nigeria and from around the world on your devices as we stream live on social media, Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, YouTube, you can join us on Nigeria Info 99.3 on those platforms, Facebook and YouTube. On Twitter, we are at Nigeria Info FM. On Instagram, we are Nigeria Info FM Lagos as well. Our phone lines will be given out shortly, but you should have a WhatsApp number. That's very, very important for you to be able to join this conversation this morning. The WhatsApp line is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. Well, news from this conversation will be up on our website, nigeriainfo.fm. Right after this show, so you can go over there to read up and tell us what you think about the topic in the comment section using the hashtag Morning Crossfire. We appreciate you for that. Joining us on the conversation this morning on Iran-US tension is Dr. David Awurawo from the Department of History and International Relations, University of Lagos. Dr. David, thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you.
Let's also say that following the New Year celebration on Friday, 3rd January 2020, the death of Iran's military leader and commander Qasem Soleimani dominated news all over the world. According to reports, Soleimani, Iranian top general and one of the most powerful men in Iran, was killed after a U.S. drone struck Soleimani's vehicle on the road leading from Baghdad airport shortly after he had landed on a scheduled flight from Damascus, Syria, early on Friday. Also killed was Abu Mahdi al-Mahandis, an advisor to Soleimani, deputy commander of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, PMF, an Iran-backed umbrella organization comprising several militias. At least 7 others, according to reports, were killed in that particular incident. The leader of Lebanon's Iran-allied Hezbollah movement, Hassan Nasrallah, also one of the late Soleimani's closest associates, whom Soleimani visited in Beirut, the capital and largest city of Lebanon, on New Year's Day, 2 days before he was killed in a television program, actually said that the U.S., let me quote him, he said, the U.S. military are the ones who killed Soleimani and al-Mahandis, and they are the ones who will pay the price. This is an American beginning a war in the region. We didn't go to attack them. They started a new war of a new kind in the region. End of quote. Hezbollah leader Nasrallah vowed to mete out just retribution for the killing of Iran's top military general Qasem Soleimani, promising to expel U.S. forces from Middle East region. He also said that there will be a battle launched on all the U.S. military bases in the region, their warships, every single general and soldier in Iran and Iraq except the U.S. civilians such as engineers, businessmen, journalists, and so on. He's saying that they will launch an attack on U.S. forces, but they will exclude engineers, businessmen, and journalists. They said they will not touch that one. So, Dr. David, let's start this way. When you heard the news on Friday, what crossed your mind? I want to begin with that. What actually came to your mind? What was the first thing that crossed your mind when you heard the news on Friday?
Regarding what direction the world was heading. The beginning of a new year, a new decade, and
we're having a bad connection with Dr. David. Dr. David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Tell us, Dr. David. A lot have been said as regards the attack. The assassination of Qasem Soleimani. Who is Qasem Soleimani? If we can pick up from there. Who was he really? Because we have heard, narrative of he was a terrorist. We've heard narrative. I mean, if you go to Iran, you saw the funeral that was held yesterday in Iran. You saw the crowd. To them there, he was a martyr. He was the defender of the people. He was the second most powerful person in Iran. Who was he generally? Who will tell us the right narrative of who Soleimani Qasim was?
It was many things, and different things to different people. In Iran, of course, one of the most respected, military leaders, strategists, intelligence, of course, wielding also political power, defender of the interests of the Iranians, defender, the freedom fighter for Iranians and all. And also, of course, the fighter against terrorists as well in the region at different times. Even sometimes it's the interest of Iran and its policy in America. And of course, to others, he also was, saying differently, a terrorist, a destabilizer in the region. Of course, which was the reason that the Americans gave for eliminating him.
Was that strong enough?
And different things to different people. To put it in a nutshell.
Looking at the reason Americans gave, Dr. David, looking at the reason that he was a terrorist, he was planning to attack, American interests in that region. Would you say it's strong enough to carry out an attack on another a sovereign country such as Iraq, even though the Iraqis, according to the Prime Minister of Iraq's statement when the attack happened, he said that the U.S. informed them minutes before the attack, but they didn't give the go-ahead. But then the Americans went ahead to carry out that assassination of Qasem Soleimani. How would you describe this in the international policy space?
Yes, that is the most disturbing aspect of the whole the fact that the action was unilateral, the fact that it was carried out on the soil of another country, the fact that that country didn't give the go-ahead for the attack to take place. These are the most disturbing aspects of the whole crisis. Because what the lessons of history teach is that the world is a lot more stable when actions are in line with respect for international law. The world is a lot more stable when actions are, multilateral and not unilateral. And, if you can quickly, easily compare that with the Gulf War, 1991, and then the American invasion of Iraq, 2003.
Right.
One was multilateral, the other one was unilateral. And up to today, the reason the Americans gave for invading Iraq in March 2003 is that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
So even now, the reason the Americans are claiming that they were plans to carry out terrorist attacks, no evidence has been provided yet.
True.
These are the most disturbing aspects of the whole crisis. Namely, violation of international law. Secondly, violation of the sovereignty of another state. Third, unilateral action. Kind of violence, unilaterally. All of these are always destabilizing to the international system, irrespective of the motives and the propelling factors for these actions.
I'm glad, Dr. Auro, I'm glad you mentioned the 2003 invasion of Iraq by the Americans over the excuse of that the country then in possession of weapons of mass destruction. After that scenario, like you said, it turned out to be false, and there were no consequences whatsoever. This time around, we're seeing a repeat, most likely, of what happened in 2003 in Iraq. What are the consequences you think could be a fallout of this action by the American government?
Unfortunately, the way the international system is structured, the strong always have their way. Those who died in the aftermath of the invasion of with living on hindsight needlessly. Because that was a war that didn't have to take place. I was in the US when the BBC invasion this family. Monitor is multi activity and levels in the US. So try to get the Bush government to be more, hesitant, restrained, to look at the evidence more, robustly, to research the world. For the friends, the ambassador.
Dr. David, you know what we're going to do? We're going to try and reach you again because the line is quite poor right here in the studio. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a clearer, line towards to get you back on the line because the conversation is just getting started. Before the end of the show, hopefully, we'll be able to get you back on the line and have this conversation with you. In case you are just joining us, you're welcome. It's a morning Crossfire, and on the program this morning, we're looking at the U.S.-Iran tension over the assassination of top Iranian military commander, General Qasem Soleimani. And we were speaking with Dr. David Aworao from the Department of History and International Relations, University of Lagos. Let's tell you very briefly that the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the U.S. airstrike in Baghdad that killed Qasem Soleimani, commander of Iran's elite Quds force, and architect of its growing military influence in the Middle East, aims to disrupt an imminent attack that would have endangered Americans in the Middle East. Pompeo, in interviews on Fox News and CNN, declined to discuss any details of the alleged threat. He didn't say exactly, the specific threats that the Americans claimed were the reasons, why they assassinated Qasem Soleimani. He didn't say anything. He didn't give details of the threat, but said it was an intelligence-based assessment that drove the decision to target Mr. Soleimani. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, also giving a press conference in Florida over the weekend, said that the attack was carried out to stop a war, not to start a war. He said the attack was carried out to stop a war, not to start one. What's your thought about this? Let's get some thoughts in as we approach our first break on the show this morning. Here are the lines you can call if you'd like to be a part of this conversation.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Absolutely. This is Nigeria Info, and we are listening. Please, when you're calling, make sure that you turn down the volume of your radio. Please do that for us. It will help us a lot have a smooth conversation. And yes, you can tweet me at Nigeria Info FM. What's your thoughts about this new development? What is Nigeria's stance? What is Nigeria's position in all of this? Trust me, Nigeria is involved. We will get there at that point where Nigeria is involved. That you can't say that Nigerians will just stand aloof and decide to not take part in whatever it is going on in the international scene. Right here, right now, we are very, very much involved. Let's get to your calls right now. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. We can't hear you. You're turning off your radio. We could barely even hear what you're saying, but try and call us back if you can. As a matter of fact, you can send your thoughts in via WhatsApp. The WhatsApp address is Nigeria Info 99.3. That is Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's give you some more information as regards what is going on between Iran and USA. In March 2017, Bloomberg.com had reported that there is enmity between Iran on one side and the US, Israel, and Saudi Arabia on the other side, adding that Iran uses proxy militias, including Shiite Afghans, Iraqis, and Lebanese, to support Syrian President Bashar al-Assad against opponents, some of whom are backed by the US and Saudi Arabia. These tensions are not new at all when it comes to Iran and, of course, the U.S. We're trying to get back Dr. David Aurawo on the line this morning so we can continue our conversation with him on the program this morning. It's important that Nigerians see the importance of their involvement in all of this. Dr. David, are you back on the line? Yeah, are you back on the line? Okay, I think I can manage to hear you. Let's see if we can try again right now. Can you hear me? Hello, Dr. David. I can barely hear you, Dr. David. I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you. Okay, you can hear me now. But I can't hear you. It's breaking in the studio here. Quite poor, very poor. Can you hear me?
Are you here now?
Okay, I can hear you now. It's better now.
Okay.
Okay, quickly, let's move on very quickly, Dr. David. This morning, let's talk about the involvement, of course, of the U.S. as a government, as a foreign government in the Middle East region. Some have said that the U.S. involvement in that region has put the region into more jeopardy than what it intended to initially. You are somebody who has studied affairs of international relations, especially when it comes to that particular space. Would you say the U.S. government's involvement in that region has helped in calming tensions down, or it's been otherwise?
Well, to be fair, the U.S. has contributed tremendously to stability in the Middle East over 70 years, especially since Israel's emergence as a state in 1948.
Right.
The reality is that on several terms, the countries within the Middle East itself, have each one another in several wars. Had to intervene at different times, and served as a stabilizing force. So the involvement of the U.S. in the Middle East has not always been negative. They've played a pivotal role in stabilizing the region. Most times they work with Egypt, which is Egypt, but as another state, close to most of them, Libra and all that. So provide stability in the region. They also several accords, Camp David Accord, and several other accords they have signed, which have contributed to stability in the region. But the point I was making the other time is that the U.S. has been successful to the Middle East and stability there. Has always been when it works with conflict.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I can't hear you anymore, Dr. David. I'm sure our listener too can't hear you anymore. The line is horrible. Can you try again? Let's see if we can try again.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Dr. David, thank you so much for talking to us. We tried, we tried, but we couldn't talk to Dr. David on the line due to poor network condition here in the studio. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is I Square. I am calling from Ojo.
Good to have you.
I think in this area, I think Tehran, what happened is I think it's a strong warning to Tehran.
Okay.
Because, and for me, I think there are two things that Tehran should do. They should look at those areas, activities that they are doing that U.S. see as threat. They should do it less with it.
Okay.
They can call a kind of a roundtable meeting. The allies like China, Russia.
Right.
So that they have a treaty on how to manage those areas, including the nuclear enrichment. So they have a treaty with the U.S. on how to do it. Because if they continue in advancing in a form of threat or all this tight population along Ebola, all the Syrian activities,
right,
it will keep on making U.S. to see them as a big threat. And if the war escalates today, I think they're going to lose because even Russia cannot defend them. Even
Dr. David, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, even China will not defend them. So, hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Hello.
Oh, I'm going to have to let you go. My caller on the line. I need to speak with Dr. David. Go on, Dr. David.
Yeah. The point I was making was that the United States has contributed tremendously to stability in the Middle East
Right.
over decades, and that their intervention at different times has helped to, bring major crises and conflicts to an end.
Right.
And a whole lot of, agreements, peace agreements, accords have been signed, spearheaded by the United States. So the U.S. has, played a positive role in ensuring stability in the Middle East. But the point the addendum I'm making is that when we look back, the U.S. has tended to be more successful in providing stability in the Middle East when it works in accordance with the provisions of international law, and when it approaches its intervention in a multilateral fashion. When it works with other countries of the world, broadly, it tends to have been more successful in providing stability in the Middle East, which is why the recent event is very concerning. Because one, it is unilateral. Second, it took place in other countries' soil, which country obviously didn't give consent to what has happened. And these are the kind of things that would, destabilize. The U.S. has also contributed to destabilization. And it's when the U.S. carries out acts like this that its involvement in the region leads to instability. That is why what has just happened now is very concerning. And that was why I made reference to 2003, that the whole world demonstrated with Bush and said, let us be sure of these weapons of mass destruction allegation. And they hastily went and invaded the country. When we look back now, all those who died in that war died needlessly.
Right.
And since then, Iraq has been very, very unstable. That is why what has just happened, the assassination of that Iranian military chief and all that, these are the kind of things that will provide instability. At some point, Iran will retaliate. At some point, America would punish Iran more. But the entire international community will be affected negatively one way or the other. That is why what has just happened is very concerning.
Dr. David, there have been threats and counter threats since the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. In fact, there have been some retaliatory attacks being reported already. Do you think Iran wants to go to war with the U.S.? Is that a possibility?
Well, that is not a possibility. Iran will make threats here and there, but Iran will attack some American facilities and formations here and there. But I do not think that Iran wants a war with the U.S. Iran doesn't have the capacity to go to a full-scale war with the U.S. And the usual thing is when you have a smaller country with less power, in conflict with a bigger country with more power, a stronger military force, it is not an all-out war that will be beneficial to that less strong country. Right. So what I imagine is that Iran will attack some American installations, American facilities here and there. America will punish Iraq more with some more, drone attacks and things like that. But the losers will be both countries and the entire international community. Somebody asked the question yesterday as to how Nigeria or how all of these could affect Nigeria.
Yes, I was going to come to that. Please tell us.
And I said in the short run, oil price is going up. That will be beneficial to Nigeria. Because Nigeria is an oil-producing state. But if it lingers, if it drags, if the thing persists for a long time, that advantage might be lost because the entire international community, the global economy might now be negatively affected. And you begin to see countries doing a reversal of their projections for the year. Those that will have grown 2% to say 1.5 and things like that. So overall, the actions like this and the instability that usually accompanies them is not a positive thing for the entire international community. The Iran surely will not be interested in going to a full-scale war with the U.S. It will only attack some, U.S. installation facilities to make a point that the assassinations or the killings will not go without some consequences.
Let's talk about making a point, Dr. Aurao. Qasem Soleimani fought the Al-Qaeda. fought against ISIS, defended Bashar al-Assad, but in every situation is that he has always been on the opposite side to the U.S. government. So, apparently he's seen as the enemy of, America. And my question is, with the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, despite the Iraqi government going against it, despite the US government not showing us proof of anything, it's raised question as to the end game of the US government. What is the US government up to with this attack? Because if you ask me, I don't know. I've spoken with experts as well. Nobody seemed to know the end game. Nobody seemed to know the real reason behind his assassination.
Well, like I said, no concrete proof has been provided, so now everything is still in the realm of conjecture as to whether the reason or the reasons that the American government has given is right or correct or not. Yes, Soleimani is seen as an enemy of the U.S. The U.S. endgame, a lot has been said about regime change.
Right.
Major U.S. policy, towards Iran. So what has happened seems to fit in, with that narrative of regime change, attempt to carry out regime change. He is one of the most powerful people, in Iran.
True.
True. When the prime, the structure. I mean, you count him as number 3 or 4 or thereabouts.
Number 2.
So the regime change narrative seems to be what has happened seems to be in line with it. That if these key individuals who are perceived to be anti-West and anti-American are taken off, that the ordinary Iranian is liberal. The Iranian wants to live in a democratic state. The Iranian does not want to be involved in the entanglements of Middle East conflict. That is one narrative. But there is the need for the Americans to understand, better the social, dynamics in Iran. Acts like this even tend to make those who are moderate to become hardliners. And you can see what we call rally effect.
Right.
You see, so the Americans will need to be, if regime change is still what they are pursuing, and that's the basis for their action, they will need to understand the social dynamics in Iran to be sure that if regime change is carried out, it would, make Iran become what America wants it to be. But to my mind,
will Iranians accept that? We all saw what happened in Afghanistan.
Exactly so. That is the point I'm making. That it doesn't seem to me that the calculation of the Americans, that they understand the dynamics clearly enough. When things like this happen, even those who were moderate, even those who were sitting on the sidelines, tend to all become hardliners. They become nationalistic. They want to defend their country, and we now move to a worse condition than we were before those acts were carried out. So that, to me, it's difficult to find a logical justification as to how it will benefit the Americans or how it will benefit the international community, in the long run. But let's not events unfold. But one thing that is very clear is that there will be some instability in the short run.
Right.
What happens in the long run is what nobody can be sure about.
Dr. David Adewuni, thank you so much for talking to us on the morning Crossfire this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's go on a break. When we return, our conversation continues. Dr. David Aurao is from the Department of History and International Relations, University of Lagos. After this break, I'll take your thought. I can see loads of comments on Facebook. You can tweet me at Nigeria Info FM. Let's talk Nigeria's take, Nigeria's stand on all of this. We're back in a moment. Stay here.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. My lines are buzzing, but I need to take a few comments. Should we start with the lines? I think we should start with the lines. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I didn't conclude.
Yes, you didn't. Apologies for that.
Okay. Let me say that that the best thing to do is to review the treaty if they already have any.
Okay.
I mean, between the U.S.
And Iran.
Tehran. They have allies, the Russia, the ally. They have China.
Right.
They can, help in that situation. Okay, in Nigeria, I think we have two impacts. Number one, the economic impact that the oil will likely to rise.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yes. Although nobody wants any country to benefit them, but if you have an impact on that.
But that's the truth. That's the truth.
Okay.
The oil prices will rise.
Yeah. Second impact is that it has emotional impact. So sympathizers, maybe in the north, God forbid, they may likely to do anything to send a signal that,
they are in
so
support.
Which means there should be a bit of security in the country.
Right.
There will be that kind of likelihood. But I pray that, Tehran should, review the treaty with the U.S. instead of, going further.
Tehran has withdrawn from all agreements, all commitments to the arms disarmament, nuclear weapons disarmament program treaty that they signed. They are saying that they are not going to keep to those terms anymore. They will go ahead with enriching their nuclear arms. They will continue with their research and development in terms of nuclear weapons and all of that.
These are the areas of big threat to White House, to U.S. And I think the allies, the Russia and the China, can help to stabilize this because if they continue in this way, it will escalate. And I think Tehran will lose because imagine where we have F-31 and F-32 flying across Tehran.
Right.
It's dangerous.
Right.
But I think they should review that so that they speak in the Middle East.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your contribution. Really, really appreciate that. In case you want to be a part of the conversation, here are the lines.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Absolutely, we are listening. Let's take a few comments on WhatsApp. Good morning, Sherry. I'm Christopher from Aja. Qasim Soleimani was a terrorist, I think. President Donald Trump did the right thing. Nobody negotiates with terrorists. Obama used to send them money, but President Trump sent him rocket. Thank you for your thoughts. Really appreciate that. Let's quickly go over now to Facebook. What is America's problems? They always think they have power over every nation. And our name Ritala. Rafael Adegoke says, I want to believe so strongly that the American forces eliminated the Iranian general for very strong security reasons. They wouldn't just want to execute such personality for the fun of it. The only error I see here from America is not having some solid evidences to nail the Iranian general first, or better still, if they have solid evidence, they can present it to the world. Adam Umar Kami says, Doctor, please verify and justify your points very well. Seems you are unsure. That's Adams Umar. Adams, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I can see a lot more comments here, but let's take a break and go to the phone lines in a bit and see who is here with us. Hello, good morning to you. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I can't hear you.
This is Adewuni from Quadry.
Adewuni.
Yeah.
Good to have you. Go on, please.
Yeah, I would like to make a little contribution.
Go on,
I
please.
disagree with your analyst earlier, saying the Americans are there to stabilize the Middle East. From the past record, it showed they are agents of destabilizing right from the end of the Second World War. From Syria to Iraq, the list is endless. That's just what I want to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Adewuni, for sharing your thought. Appreciate that. Well, it's important that apart from, we can back it up with proof. History is there for everybody to see. right? Hello, good morning to you. We lost our call. Do try and call us back. Let's see who's here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sherry.
Yes, good morning.
Just a response to the last the analyst said America has been agent of stabilization and also destabilization. He explained it very, very well.
He explained it, right. Oh, so the thing is, the lines are being quite erratic this morning. So we're just going to manage and see if we can, try and work with what we have got. You can tweet me, though, if you're finding it hard to get across to us in the studio here. You can tweet me at Nigeria Info is the handle on Twitter. That is at Nigeria Info FM. Is the handle on Twitter. You can also drop your comments on our live stream on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. In the meantime, you can try the numbers. Let's see if we can manage with the few ones that are working. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Richard.
Richard, where are you calling me from?
I'm calling from Ikeja.
Good to have you.
Well, what I need to say is that it's unfortunately what America are doing, and I think it's a pattern that we are seeing here that anytime any American president is under pressure at home or election is coming, they always look for something to boost their case.
It's like in their playbook. That's like what they usually do.
It's like when Obama was there, when he was going for a second time, there was a time he was telling the Russia secretary that he should tell President Putin that after the election he will be lenient with him. This is not done. No matter what this guy is doing, is a government official. You went to kill him in another country. Imagine Iran killing American Secretary of State. What will happen? If this thing happens in the third world, the next thing you know that they are taken out to the International Criminal Court. But when it happens to the Americans, nothing happens. It's not done. And the world should not continue to look away. Hello?
Hello.
And again, the issue that maybe they are destabilizing or stabilizing the region. They have been destabilizing the region. Check history very well. Iran, Iraq, Libya, they are countries that have a very stable infrastructure economy before these people intervene. Up to now, nobody has been held accountable for the forced realization that was used before they started the Iraqi war. Right. Now, another one is coming. They said they presented the war. Which war do you present? Present the evidence or let's see the evidence. I believe Trump is using this thing to cover his impeachment move. Okay. Election is coming. He needs something that will ginger his base.
Okay.
But it is wrong.
Okay.
We can't continue to do this.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a whole lot. It's interesting, all the angles to this. So there are so many questions. Trust me, people can't come up with one straight and one size fits all kind of answer to this. Whatever happened, because even the U.S. that carried out the assassination hasn't said anything. They said that it was to prevent a terrorist attack on American interest in that region, but they've not provided evidence. Yet, at least yet until now. Maybe after I leave this program, they would have. Maybe they are presenting it right now. But as I am right now, I haven't heard of any evidence being presented to the UN by the American government. Hello, good morning to you.
Hi, Sheriff. Good morning. How
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, man. You see, number one, let's get it clear. America is not representing anybody other than America, whether Republican or Democrat. American interest is sacrosanct today.
True.
That's number one. I want to talk about the Middle East, talking about Israel, Iran, Saudi, Turkey, Libya, and the rest. Then it's a very, very, very complicated issue altogether, diplomatically, militarily, and otherwise, economically. So for now, what Iran has done with this man for the past 20 years is very, 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 very unfair. Truly.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
The man has been dominating. People have been looking at how to take him out, but the reason is, if we took him out, what next? The fear of what is going to happen now. That is what everybody has been. What has been the major concern of America. I'm not sure America,
are you saying America did the world a favor by assassinating him because he was a terror?
I said it's American interest.
Okay.
It is about their interest. And if Trump is going after a nuclear deal is simply because he wants to undo everything Obama did. That is that. It's not Obama had an agreement with Rouhani 2014,
right?
Which of course he came on board and said no. Just like other things Obama did, he's trying to undo. I'm a pro-Trump, but then this is their own policy.
Right.
My worry is this. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, Iran, within the Middle East themselves, they have big problems.
Right.
And they allow America to come in. You understand?
Right.
To manipulate things. And Russia is on the other side there to gain from whatever mago that is going on. And the nuclear you are talking about is being built by the Russians. Also, the Chinese are also enjoying it. But the greatest hypocrites are the Germans, French, and the British people. They are saying, okay, fine, Iran, go ahead with the Obama deal, whatever. But what have they done? When the sanctions were, handed down by the Americans.
When have been imposed by the American government.
Exactly. What have they done? Now, if they go to the Security Council meeting now, can anybody stop America from doing this? Apart from sometimes Russia that veto some of these things.
Right.
So the thing is that it's about hypocrisy. And we go back to a fella, waiting unite for United Nations. So everybody just protecting their own interests. Good morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your thought. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're live on Nigeria Info. What's your name, please?
Yeah,
Your name is?
Mr. Darlington speaking.
Good to have you, Darlington.
Good. If you check from history, these people are violent. And for you to suppress and subjugate your people to your own whims and caprices, it doesn't make room for development. Human beings are supposed to be free, and that is what America stands for.
Okay.
Libya that people are mentioning, how can one man be in government for 42 years? You sit down there. Are you the only person that's supposed to rule your country? These are things America is kicking against.
Okay.
Remember the Iranian, the oil tanker that was sabotaged by Iranian office. You remember, America provided satellite a video that it was carried out by Iranian military.
Right.
Is that not true? So, if you have decided to be violent against the whole world, then you don't expect everybody to sit down and watch. So people don't know what America is doing by curtailing the excesses of these people.
Just to be sure of what you're saying, you're saying that the independence, the sovereignty of any nation doesn't matter as long as America feels that you're not doing the right thing. They have the right to come
hold on.
home and launch an attack in your home.
Why did the League of Nations fail and United Nations came up? The moment you cross the red line, anybody can take you on.
Okay.
Imagine if nobody have challenged the ISIS and the Al-Qaeda against Syria, their incursion. Do you know what would happen by now? And the moment they gain one country, they will gain the rest.
Right.
So, people should look at these things.
Do you know who did that? Do you know who challenged ISIS?
America they are spending human and material resources to stop these people.
Do you think it's only the Americans that did that? That's my question.
They are playing a major role. They are playing a major role.
Okay, then.
The same thing happened. This is Jerusalem that is causing problem now. Remember, it was the jihadis that wanted to overrun Jerusalem until the Crusaders came and stopped them. That was why America, they went back to history and realized that originally that place has nothing to do with any Islamic war.
Right.
That was why America moved their capital to that place.
Just to be clear, Darlington, the ISIS war that you mentioned, this same man, General Qasem Soleimani, was part of the forces, his militia forces, that fought with ISIS, that rooted out ISIS of Iraq.
You don't. If he's fighting for a purpose, you now say that he's the second man in Iran.
Yes.
This man was honing his position. He was climbing the ladder.
So the right
he has a motive. Yes.
The right thing is to assassinate him.
Because he knew that his government or his people does not want ISIS. So he was trying to ward them off in order to gain prominence in his country.
But Americans too, they have their own interests. They are not just they didn't just fight that war because they were nice.
The bottom line is that any terrorist group anywhere is a threat to humanity.
All right, Darlington. A lot of people are on the line, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
People should stop defending what isn't defendable. They should stop being violent.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
No,
my name is Enzo. I'm calling from Lekki.
Good to have you.
I laugh when people defend America. America does not go to anywhere that they don't have interest. Have you noticed it? They only go to countries that have crude oil. They went to Libya, destroyed Libya, killed Gaddafi. Where is Libya today? They went to Iraq, killed Saddam Hussein, destroyed Iraq. And today, the same country who preach rule of law, the same country who preach human rights, invaded someone's country and killed an innocent general. And today we are defending them.
You said innocent.
The guy is innocent. Was he convicted by any court of competent jurisdiction?
Okay.
Why was he killed? Is it not the same? They are arrested, so they threaten our sovereignty. So they said he's going to, by Monday, DSS will cease to exist, that he's going to boot Buhari out of government house. So he was arrested, and America started spewing rule of law. Rule of law, rule of law. The same Shiite. Shiite has affiliate with Iran. El Zazaki was arrested. My problem with Nigeria with their hypocrisy. El Zazaki, who have an affiliate with Iran, was arrested. Nigeria started preaching rule of law. America, as far as I'm concerned, is a threat to global peace.
Enzo.
The truth of the matter, let me tell you the truth.
Enzo, can you wrap up now? Can you wrap up?
Yes, let me wrap up. The truth of the matter is, once you are serving America's selfish interest, they will never come for you. But the moment you want to stand on your own, America will come for you and tag you a terrorist. That's the problem. America is not protecting you and I. Whenever they are ready to dance to their tone to protect their selfish interest, America will defend you. But the moment you decide to stand on your own and not to serve America's selfish interest, America will come after you. Is that why you call rule of law?
Enzo,
like I said, America is a threat to national peace.
Thank you so much, Enzo, for calling. Appreciate it. Let's go to WhatsApp and take a few comments. My lines are blinking. I'm tempted, but let's take a few comments. This Oluwa Femi says, I agree strongly with the man that says that the Europeans have not been sincere in addressing the issues in the Middle East and Africa. Dada Oluwa Femi, thank you for sending it in. Please tell Nigerians to read the book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. America wants to perpetually dominate the world. It is selfish. Tosin Adebambo from Bagada sent that in. Thank you. The truth is, USA is too proud, believes she can't be confronted by anyone, and has right to do whatever she wants anywhere. Her involvement in Middle East is to gain control over them, take over their God-gift possession, and turn them to slaves. America doesn't want any other country to grow on its own except one's who is ready to be puppet to the country. Can you remember issues with China recently and the way America started putting mouth into the riots simply because China is growing? There is none other wolf in the ship that America. People who worship her don't just like the truth. This is from Dekunle. Dekunle, thank you. I just managed to reel through that particular message quite okay. Let's take this one. Iran will retaliate. Don't judge by name or mere military personnel. Everything is tactics. You see, USA cheat Iran by killing the Soleimani guy. The same Soleimani they use is experienced by fighting ISIS. Oh yeah, I said that earlier. Well, Iran is ready. This is from Kara Namoda from Zamfara State. Kara, thank you for sending that in. And a whole lot of messages tripping in on WhatsApp. I have to go right now. I'm sorry I can't take any more calls. I can't take any more messages on WhatsApp and Twitter. Maybe I should take one from Twitter. I should. Let me take one from Twitter. Okay, let's take this one from Twitter. It's quite short. James Alawale says, killing the Iranian general is on whose interest, America or the world? James, that's the question I asked earlier. I don't know. Nobody's explaining to us. He just gave reasons that he had planned some terrorist attacks against the American interests in that region. But that's much we can take. Many thanks to our guest this morning, Dr. David Aurao from the Department of History and International Relations, University of Lagos. Many thanks to you. Zainab Akin produced this show this morning. Many thanks to Tosin Akinride, Baton Absalam for making you see us online. I am Sheriff Quadry. We are back tomorrow at 6 a.m. That's right. We're back tomorrow at 6 a.m. on the morning Crossfire. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.